Prabhuji, thank you so much for that sweet introduction. I'm very, very grateful to you, and I'm so happy to be back with you guys. I remember many of you. Karan was the one who showed me Agasur pastime last time, and he opened his mouth. Srivas Prabhu asked about shortcuts to chanting. Uh, Athena Mataji asked a business school question. Nitya Mataji, thank you Mataji for being here. And I think I remember many of you. It's so nice to be back with all of you. Um, so today, and please forget everything that Gaurakumar Prabhu said in the introduction. Those are all very kind words that he had for me. So today I wanted to share with you about the 11 essential instructions that Rupa Goswami gives us. किसी के पास भी टाइम नहीं है इतना ज्यादा कि लंबे लंबे लेक्चर सुने या 700 18,000 वर्सेस पढ़े किसी के पास इतना टाइम नहीं है. So that's why Rupa Goswami gave us these 11 instructions. So I wanted to share with you, let's see, depending on the time, I wanted to share with you some of these instructions. So with the blessings of parents, teachers, gurus, mentors, and gurus like Gaur Kumar Prabhu for me, I wanted to share some of these instructions with you. So so when we moved when we moved to New Jersey in 2013, I was asking for instructions from devotees. कौन से school districts अच्छे हैं बच्चों के लिए, कौन से doctor अच्छे हैं हमारे लिए बच्चों के लिए, and all these questions. So some devotees were giving their instructions. So एक मेरे very very close प्रभु हैं यहाँ पे, he gave me a contact of a doctor, and his name is John Ho. His name is actually John Ho. Last name is H-O. Ho. So नाम सुनते ही मैंने कहा जॉन हो, जो भी हो, कल हो ना हो, दे दो दीजिए आप जल्दी कांटेक्ट, मुझे फर्स्ट अपॉइंटमेंट ले लेना है उनसे. So if you want to be successful at anything, it is very very difficult, but if you want to fail at something, it's very very easy. So one lazy fellow, he went to his guru and he asked, he wanted to play a trick question with his guru. So he asked, Maharaj, can you tell me how I can fail at everything? So then the guru said, it's very, very easy. Complain all the time, never be grateful, and blame others for everything. Then you will fail at everything. So if you ask me what are the 3 things that I should not do, then, complain all the time, never be grateful, and blame others. So these are the 3 things that we should not be doing, right? Okay, so with that, how many of you know this book, Nectar of Instruction? Okay, Karan Prabhu knows. Who is that Prabhu sitting next to Karan Prabhu? Ekdam Salman Khan jaise lag rahe.
Vishal Prabhu.
Vishal Prabhu, very nice meeting you. Hari Hari. आप लोग क्या, why are you watching TV when I'm speaking to you? आप ऐसे ऊपर देख रहे हैं तो मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि आप
टीवी में ही एक्चुअली.
टीवी में. अच्छा अच्छा. All right, thank you for casting me on a TV. Krishna, that's so sweet. So couple of hands raised. So this book, Nectar of Instruction, is by Rupa Goswami, translated by Srila Prabhupada. But this is Upadesha Amrita, the best of all instructions, condensed into just 11 for, Bhatakti Atmaya like us. All right. So let's begin with this one verse. That's one of my favorites. Is Tanna Marupa Charitadi Sukirtananu Smrutyo Kramena Rasana Manasi Niyojya Tishtan Vrajeta Tadanuragi Jananugami Kalam Nayeda Kilamiti Upadesha Saram. So the translation, the essence of all advice. So this is like all advice. The essence of all advice is that one should utilize one's full time, 24 hours a day, in nicely chanting and remembering Lord's divine name, transcendental form, qualities, and eternal pastimes, thereby gradually engaging one's tongue and mind. In this way, one should reside in Vraja, Goloka Vrindavan Dham, and serve Krishna under the guidance of devotees. One should follow in the footsteps of Lord's beloved devotees who are deeply attached to his devotional service. So this is that verse, and this is the 8th verse. Okay, so let's see. So Prabhu told in the introduction that I speak very balanced and all that, right? Now ये translation में मेरा कट रहा है कि it says one should utilize 24 hours a day in nicely chanting, remembering Nama Rupa Guna Lila Dhama. तो यार तो then we'll have to move to Mars or something, right? Where there are 48 hours per day. Or we'll have to move to Jupiter or something where there are more hours per day ताकि हम लोग 24 hours कर सके सब. So let's see. But let's see what this actually means, right? So these acharyas are also very, very balanced. They don't want to push something on us that we cannot take. So let's see what they mean by that. So let's begin with the prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So I don't know if I showed you pictures of our Bhakti Vriksha last time. Did I, Prabhu? Gaur Kumar Prabhu? I did. Kunal Prabhu, Karan Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, you did.
Yeah. Achha, so anyway, so I do remember them every time. So this is a sincere acknowledgement to them. They are the ones who held us in all our times, right? So this is one picture, and this is another picture, and this Prabhuji is a Srila Prabhupada disciple. His name is Shami Krishi Prabhu. There was an article about him in Back to Godhead. He's a doctor, and he has raised very, very nice devotees and children. Very nice. And this is our altar. Somebody was asking me last time that in one of the classes, somebody was asking me, Prabhu, when we hear your lecture, बहुत अच्छा लगता है. लेकिन बाद में हम सब भूल जाते हैं, and then we're back to Maya. Then I showed my notebook. This is where I take all the notes. Aditya Prabhu, Haribol. This is where I take all my notes, and the best points from the notes will make it here into that notice board. So, and I keep remembering, I write a lot of thoughts here, and I keep remembering them again and again. When the board is full, I erase it and I write it again. So somebody was asking me, and I thought I'd just share it with you guys. So Gaur Kumar Prabhuji has the same altar as me. Actually, following his footsteps, I have this altar. So let me begin. So this Nectar of Instruction, it has just 11 verses. Kamal ka book hai, 11 verses only. Okay, so Gita Jayanti is coming in a few days. Does anybody know how many verses Bhagavad Gita has? Kitne total verses Bhagavad Gita?
700.
700 verses. Vinay Prabhu, thank you. 700 verses in Bhagavad Gita. Srimad Bhagavatam, how many verses?
18,000.
18,000. Suman Prabhu, Hari Bol Prabhu. I do remember you from last week. 18,000 verses, Srimad Bhagavatam. Mahabharat, how many verses?
Prabhu, 1 lakh verses.
200,000.
Correct, same. 1,100,000. Very nice answer. Correct. एकदम correct है. सब लोग millionaire बन रहे हैं. सब लोग करोड़पति बन रहे हैं. मतलब सही जवाब मिल रहे हैं मुझे. Very nice. Shat Sandarbhas by Jiva Goswami. Do you guys know how many verses that has? Does anybody know? Shat Sandarbhas by Jiva Goswami. Take a guess.
Prabhu, I heard in general Jeev Goswami composed 400,000 verses something.
Say, if anybody needs a helpline when you are in KBC, call Nadia Kishore Prabhu. Hey, jawab diya, Prabhu. 400,000. 400,000 verses. Jiva Goswami, 400,000 verses. Now, in addition to that, there are 4 Vedas, right? And there are 18 Puranas, right? One of them is Srimad Bhagavatam, 17 Puranas, and 108 Upanishads. And there are Smritis, and there are Upavedas, and there are Gandharva Vedas, and all these things. Now, एक बार जो भी वो बंदा मुझे प्रणाम करना है उसको हाथ उठाए किसके पास टाइम है आपको ये सब पढ़ने के लिए who has the time to read all these please हाथ उठाइए please I want to see that soul the four-handed form of that soul so
Gaur Kumar Prabhu.
Gaur Kumar जीत प्रभु अरे भाई you're in this class मुझे पता नहीं था यार आप सब लोग Okay, so Gaur Kumar Prabhu, okay, that's excellent answer. वो सही बात है, मैं मानता हूँ यार. इस जवाब से आप भी मिलियनेयर बन गए. Very nice. So the thing is that when acharyas, the gurus, when they give the Vedic knowledge, they're very, very compassionate. They become very, very merciful on souls like us who are mandas, mandamate or mandabhagya. कुछ याद नहीं रहता पढ़े तो भी कुछ याद नहीं रहता राइट आज का कल क्या खाए याद नहीं है मैं आज राइट so the devotees the acharyas they take so much mercy and they try to give the Vedic knowledge in very, very easy ways to us. So that's why Rupa Goswami, he has simplified all this Vedic knowledge, the entire Vedic knowledge, summarized into 11 verses. Kya baat hai, isn't it? Right? 11 verses, that's it. And also the book is also very, very thoughtfully designed. It actually opens with the cover page is Rupa Goswami's Samadhi, and the last page, back cover page, is Radha Kund. So the 11 verses, the first verse starts from what is a guru, and the last verse ends with how to reach Radha Kund. This is nectar of instruction. So very, very beautiful, right? So now if we have questions like, who am I, or who is God, who am I, who is God, or if you watch a lot of these Kung Fu Chinese movies, then the common theme is who killed my master. That's the common theme. Banda bhagta rehta hai, who killed my master? That's all is. So like these questions, right? How should we lead our life? How should we do this? How should we do that? All kinds of questions come up. And for all these questions, these instructions, they act as guidelines for us. Suggestions for us, guidance for us, directions for us. Okay. So these questions are very, very important. So whenever we ask, we need to ask relevant questions, right? So ek baar hum log we were going with Athena Mataji se, right? I'll refrain from as much as possible not using Hindi, but I think it's naturally coming out. Please excuse me, Mataji. So one time we were going with Gaurang Prabhu from New Vrindavan to Pittsburgh airport. And so he used this word. Okay, let's begin. Athato bhayankar jignasa. That's what he said. And we all started toot pade un pe, and we all started asking, hamare crazy, lazy questions. So like this, so many people used to flock to Srila Prabhupada and ask questions. One of the persons, he came to Srila Prabhupada and he said, "Can I ask you one question?" And Srila Prabhupada said, "You already did. Can I ask you one question is a question." Right? So when he asked, "Can I ask you one question?" Srila Prabhupada said, "You already did. You already asked a question." And then one time Srila Prabhupada was sitting on Vyasasan, and on opposite side are the deities, and the devotees were sitting in the center in between. One devotee got up, not devotee, somebody, he got up and he asked this question, can you see God? Then Srila Prabhupada, with all his simple heart, he said, I am seeing God. Tu beech mein aa gaya. You got up and you came in the way, but I am seeing God. I'm seeing the deities sitting right in front of me. Hmm? So, and all kinds of questions Srila Prabhupada used to get. Can you show me God? All kinds of crazy questions he used to get. And Srila Prabhupada, with all his simplicity, purity, and sense of humor, he used to, dodge those questions like Sachin Tendulkar and Virender Sehwag. So one time in Kumbh Mela, Chowpatty Temple, Radha Gopinath Mandir, Chowpatty Temple, they set up a stall. All your questions will be answered. They thought adhyatmic questions milenge and we will answer. Ek banda aa gaya. One person came and he started asking, I put my wallet there and I went to take shower in the kund and jab main wapas aaya to wallet mera gum gaya. Do you know where my wallet has gone? This is the question that he's asking. And so, you need to ask relevant questions. So that's the point. You need to ask relevant questions, because if you go to police station and if you ask, who am I? Who is God? आपको ऐसे सुझाएंगे कि आपको भगवान दिखाई देंगे, So we need to ask proper questions in the proper places, isn't it? So one time I was speaking in Delaware, and I was saying that dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho dharmena hinaha pashubhi samana. Dharma, the Krishna has given us intelligence to ask questions, to ask the right questions. Only we can ask questions like, who am I? Who is God? What is the connection between me and him? Like these questions. So only we can ask questions. So मैं ऐसे encourage कर रहा था audience को कि please ask questions. So one person raised his hand and got up. And so at that time, only Bahubali 1 was released at that time. Bahubali 2 nahi aaya tha wo time tak. So he asked me this question, Kattappa ne Bahubali ko kyun mara? And I was like, ask relevant questions, right? So anyway, we did Nectar of Instruction as part of our Bhakti Vriksha. And one Prabhu, Krishna Kirti Prabhu, from Tobacco congregation, he gave a beautiful class at Sri Gadadhar Prabhu's place. Some of you might be knowing him. He's our Salman Khan. And so at his place, Krishna Kirti Prabhu, he gave a very, very beautiful class. And in that, he quoted this, first deserve, then desire. This is Srila Prabhupada's words. First deserve, then desire. So that inspired me a lot. And when I was giving this Nectar of Instruction class in the temple, I actually used that as my template. So you will see that in just a second. And this Krishna Kirti Prabhu, he's a very elderly devotee in Tobacco temple. And many people in the temple don't even know that he's a double-time gold medalist. He has won 2 gold medals. And he's a PhD in chemistry, and that Prabhu is very, very highly elevated. And he has been serving Tobacco community from 1981. ISKCON Tobacco, he's been serving from 1981. I was born in 1981. So that just shows that Prabhu's service is more than my age. So there are a lot of like these hidden gems in ISKCON. I don't know how many of you know Gaur Kumar Prabhu. He cleared IIT mains, but he did not go to IIT. You know why? Because his mom was very, very attached to him. So he didn't want to leave his mom and go away from his mom. So he stayed with her. So there are a lot of these hidden gems. And one other glorification of my Gurudev, Gaur Kumar Prabhu, is that he was working in Microsoft, and he had a very, 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 very high professional and industry career. He gave all that up and he came to New York just simply to serve His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. So a lot of inspiration comes from, these are hidden gems, right? Nobody publishes those things on their t-shirts कि मैं 20 साल से सर्विस कर रहा हूँ, मैं 40 साल से जप कर रहा हूँ, मैं 16 rounds माला रोज करता हूँ. ऐसे nobody advertises, right? So these are hidden gems. Huh? So this first deserve, then desire, right? That became my theme for this class. So the road to Radhakund. So finally the book ends going to Radhakund. But that road to Radhakund, Rupa Goswami gives these 11 verses, and this is my interpretation. So please feel free to check this. If you don't like it, don't use it, right? First deserve, then desire. Beach mein 2 verses is 7 and 8 that give you like pure devotion. Okay, so we're going to go through these verses. Time is 9:30. मुझे बोलना बहुत पसंद है, लेकिन लोगों को इतना सुनना ज्यादा पसंद नहीं है. So एक बार चेक कर लेते हैं. गौर कुमार प्रभु जी, you're still here.
Oh, this is amazing. Please continue the nectar. We didn't even realize that 30 minutes have passed. It's been like 1 second or something.
Prabhu, so we have time till 10 o'clock, right?
We can go till whatever time, Prabhu.
Krishna.
Everybody has vacation now from tomorrow. So
Okay, all right. Kunal Prabhu, I'm not able to see him. I want to see his face so he's not yawning or मतलब भागने जा रहे हैं ना. Okay, Haribol. All right. So this road to Radhakund in 11 verses, 3 categories. First deserve, then last desire, बीच में devotion है. Okay, so let's see what these are. We'll begin with the first part, that is deserve category. So let's see that part, and then we'll slowly go into and let's see, depending on the time. And if I go a little bit over time, please forgive me, please excuse me. So the first six verses talk about sense control. And not all of them, they will have different lessons, and we'll see. The first verse talks about sense control. Does anybody remember what is the first verse of Nectar of Instruction?
Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam jiva vegam udarupastha vegam etan vegan yovishahita dhira sarvanapimam pitivim shashaksha.
Jai, thank you, Prabhu. Soman Prabhu, very nice. Srivas Prabhu also was about to say, right? Thank you. All right, very nice. So this Vacho vegam manasaha krodha vegam jihva vegam, right? Udara upastha vegam. So all of them are categorized as vega. Vega means speed, right? Urges, speed, zor se aa raha, like speed, right? Urges, right? So Shripad Shankaracharya, he explains in a very beautiful verse in Viveka Chudamani. He gives these 5 examples: Kuranga, Matanga, Patanga, Meena, Branga. 5 animals, 5 examples he gives. Kuranga is a deer. So this deer, the weakness of this deer is sound. So the hunter plays nice music and the deer falls into the trap. So that is Kuranga. Matanga is elephant. The weakness of elephant is touch, right? So if you want to capture a huge male elephant, all you need to do is get a female elephant, just rub the skin just to the side, and then just the female elephant goes like that, and the male elephant just keeps following it, and it falls in a ditch. And then they starve the elephant for several days, and after so many days, this huge elephant will listen to a small stick. That's the weakness of elephant. Patanga is a moth, and the weakness of moth is sight. Whenever it sees fire, it thinks that, wow, this is so beautiful, mujhe khana hai, and then it comes nearer to it, gets burnt. Meena is fish. Fish ka weakness hai taste. That's why the bait, right? Worms use karke, bait karke, fish ko hunt karte, right? And then the last one is bringa, bee. And for bee, the weakness is smell. whenever it smells the aroma coming from a lotus, it goes into the lotus. And when the sun is setting, lotus kya hota hai? All the petals, they close and they choke the bee, and then the bee dies, right? The bhrunga. Kuranga matanga patanga meena bhrunga. In Viveka Chudamani verse, Sripad Shankaracharya explains that these 5 animals, they have 5 weaknesses. What to speak of a human being who has all these weaknesses? So he's talking about none other than me, right? So he's when I'm giving class, I'm not giving class, I'm taking class. I'm speaking for myself, all these principles. So when Sripad Shankaracharya is saying these 5 animals have 5 weaknesses, but what to speak of a human being who has all these 5 weaknesses? This is our autobiography. Acharyas, they give it very, very easily to us, right? So, vacho vegam, right? Control your speech. In the first verse, Rupa Goswami said, control your speech. Words, yes, samne lagaya, it becomes words, right? You move S and you put it in the beginning, what does it become? Sword, right? It can cut. It can cut. It can break hearts. It can break relationships. What is that S you're going to put in the front? That S is sense gratification. You put sense gratification in the front, then all of a sudden you become the priority. You become the center of the world. Please me, please me, please me ho jata hai. When that happens, right? When that happens, whatever the words that are coming out, they're not coming out of compassion. They're not coming out of concern for others. They are coming out to hurt others. Words simply become sword. They start cutting, right? And then the second thing is mind. You can talk about senses for days, but who is controlling all those senses? The mind. And then there's this beautiful verse in Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, 62 and 63 verses, I think. These are my favorite verses because based on these 2 verses, you take whatever the school of psychology in the world, they're based on these 2 verses. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho vijayate. Krodhat bhavati samohaha samohat smriti vibhramaha smriti bhramshat buddhinasho buddhinashat pranashyati. These 2 verses, all the psychology schools are based on these 2 verses, anywhere you go. So anger is one letter short of danger. Yes, thank you so much, Prabhu. Gaurakumar Prabhu, thank you so much for posting the verse. Yeah, anger is one letter short of danger. Anger is like, I was giving this example, somebody really liked it. So, you lit a matchstick and you put it in your pocket. That's anger for you. What will it do? It will burn you first, and then it will give heat to the neighbors. The matchstick, put it in your pocket. Beautiful, right? It will burn you first. So this is anger. So, and then Rupa Goswami talks about bodily urges, tongue, belly, and genitals. And so I was asking Gaurang Prabhu one time, how do we control the urges of tongue, belly, and genitals? So he simply told me one thing: just get up in the morning and chant your rounds. That's all he said. And one time I was listening to the lecture by Srila Prabhupada, and one devotee was asking about how do I advance in Krishna consciousness, and how do I, he was asking very elaborate questions. Srila Prabhupada just simply said, get up early in the morning and chant your rounds. That's all he said. So I was just connecting the dots, and I was thinking, getting up early in the morning as part of your sadhana is very, very important. We should not miss that. So I'm speaking for myself. During the, if you fall into the work schedule, sometimes they might spin you off. It's okay if they do. But prioritizing and the early hours, they are very, very precious for our sadhana. So it's udara upastha vegam, right? And then etan vegan yo vishaheta dhira sarvam apimam prithvim sa sishyat. So it talks about guru. A person that has controlled his senses is called a Goswami or a guru. So that person is qualified to cultivate disciples. That's the closing line of that first verse. So guru is a tattva darshi. They've already seen it. They're already sorted out, right? Guru is a tattva darshi. He has already sorted the puzzle, and we have not sorted the puzzle, and Guru will help us to sort the puzzle. That's why this very, very important verse comes in Bhagavad Gita, Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. There are three things in that verse that are very, very important is pranipata pariprashna seva. Pranipata is surrender, pariprashna is inquiry, and then surrender, and then surrender comes. But pariprashna, Srila Prabhupada really encouraged this. Don't accept everything that I say blindly. Ask questions, right? We need to ask questions. And Guru is not someone who shows miracles. Last time हम बात कर रहे थे इसके बारे में. Guru is not someone who shows miracles. Sometimes, some people say कि वाह हम ये गुरु से मिले and I got a shock when I touched the Guru. Srila Prabhupada, immediately he cracked saying, if you want you get a shock, you put your finger in the power terminals, free shock mil jayega. Guru ke paas jaane ki zarurat, Baba logon ke paas jaake लाखों पैसे लुटाने की क्या जरूरत है, right? So one time Radha Gopinath Prabhu was giving this example. In one of the classes, he was explaining the importance of a guru. And after the class, one person, he came to Radha Gopinath Prabhu and he said, ki, Prabhu, हमारे बगीचे में एक आम का पेड़ है, and this mango tree 20 साल से कुछ फल नहीं दे रहा था, और मैंने ये गुरु के पास गया और उन्होंने एक थ्रेड दिया, मैंने ये पेड़ को बांध दिया, and since that time it is giving इतने मीठे मैंगोस. Prabhu, this is my guru. बोले तो so Radha Gopinath Prabhu was wondering कि मैं इसको क्या बताऊं मैं. On one way is like he should not be discouraged, right? जो भी कुछ तो श्रद्धा है इसमें, नहीं हरि नाम पे नहीं, आम पे है, कुछ तो श्रद्धा है इसको. So Radha Gopinath Prabhu was like encouraging him somehow, but he was trying to balance. In this book, Ocean of Mercy, by His Holiness Bhaktichar Maharaj, how many of you have this book or read this book? Any? Okay, yes, Gaur Kumar Prabhu.
I'm on the verge of completing it.
On the verge of completing. Jai Jai. Okay, Haribol, Srivas Prabhu. Very
So
nice.
I have also read it.
Shriman Prabhu, I'm sure you have read it 3-4 times. Somehow, whenever you turn off your camera, Bhaktichar Maharaj is coming, right? Is that right? Demo करके दिखाई हमें.
Yes, bro.
That's you, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Hari. Jai. Thank you. So this Ocean of Mercy by Bhaktichar Maharaj, it actually explains the importance of the Guru. In the first pages itself, it comes. So Bhaktichar Maharaj explains that Prabhupada was walking with disciples on Juhu beach, and वहाँ पे there were some street dogs. And there were also some very well-groomed dogs that were being walked by the owners. So Srila Prabhupada just asked his disciples, what is the difference between these dogs and those stray dogs? Dirty and unkempt. Nobody were answering. And Srila Prabhupada said, these dogs have their masters, whereas those don't. Yeah? These dogs have their masters, whereas those don't. So when you have a guru in your life, all of a sudden there is a direction. That's why it's called Sudarshana, right? In Ambarish Maharaj pastime, Durvasa Muni is running here and there. Sudarshana. Who was chasing Durvasa Muni? The chakra of Krishna. And that is Sudarshana. And it chases him back to Ambarish Maharaj, back to devotees. So if you want Krishna's mercy, you need to approach devotees. So that's the essence there, that you need a guru. You need a guru in your life. If we don't have a guru in our life, हम लोग एकदम से गली के कुत्ते बन जाते हैं. It's very, very deep. right? Please meditate on that. Last week, Mukunda Lila Prabhu, one of my god brothers, he came to speak in our Bhakti Vriksha, and he was sharing this his interaction with Jananivas Prabhu. He went to Mayapur, and Jananivas Prabhu was there, and he asked him very, very simple question. So he was trying to he was confused a little bit. He was trying to meditate, when should I take initiation? And so he was in that dilemma. So he asked Jananivas Prabhu, when do you think I will be ready to take initiation? This is what he asked him. 2 words. Jananivas Prabhu said 2 words. Right now. That's it. Right now. So think about it. Think about it. The reason is because, we might have plans for the next millennium, but we only have a few days. Yeah, right. We only have few days to live. Happy birthday, matlab countdown shuru ho gaya, matlab. Happy New Year, matlab ek saal kam ho gaya, right? So think about it. Think about it, right? These are gems, right? These are gems of instructions. Okay, in the first 6 verses, Rupa Goswami also talks about service, right? Highest ideal of life is selfless service to the Supreme Lord. Bhaktichar Maharaj says that in Nectar of Instruction as well. Selfless service. In the first verse in the purport, very elaborate purport Srila Prabhupada gives, in that he talks about service. Why service is needed, right? Why service is needed is because humility comes from service. Humility comes from service. And why do we need humility? To chant our rounds, we need humility. Trinadapi sunichana tarorapi saishnuna amani namanidena kirtaniya sadahari. To chant, a prerequisite quality is humility, right? So Srila Prabhupada, whenever Srila Prabhupada was asked, he used to say, whatever I've done is due to the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and my Gurudev. That was Srila Prabhupada's humility. Srila Prabhupada is Shaktiavesh avatar, right? He is an empowered incarnation. Still he is passing all the credit. That's humility. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. Vinaya, that humility, right? And so this is one important point that I wanted to say, is that sense control comes from seva. Seva leads to humility and compassion, and humility and compassion leads to effective japa. So that's why service is very, very important. Okay, so one of the important points that I want to share, also Gita Jayanti is coming, is that Krishna protected Pandavas, but what did he protect? Krishna protected Pandavas not physically, not just physically. He also protected Pandavas physically, we all know that, right? But Krishna not just protected Pandavas physically, but Krishna actually protected their humility, their compassion. He protected them, because without humility and compassion, we are beasts. We'll become animals without humility and compassion. And if it is a leader, if it is a king, then the effects will be more adverse. So Krishna protected the Pandavas not just physically, but also protected their humility and their compassion. Let's see how. Okay, so first one is humility. After the battle is done, Krishna asks Arjuna to step down from the chariot. And after that, what happens? Krishna steps down from the chariot. After that, what happens? Hanumanji flies away from the chariot. From the flag, Hanumanji flies away. After that, what happens? Anybody?
Prabhu, the chariot bursts into flames.
Chariot bursts to flames, burns to ashes. Thank you, Prabhu. Srivas Prabhu, thank you. Burns to ashes. Then Arjuna suddenly asks, Krishna, what just happened? Then Krishna says, this has taken so many nuclear weapons. Many arrows were hit at the chariot. It would have burst if I was not sitting in this chariot. Because of my presence, this chariot did not burst to flames or burn to ashes. This he tells to Arjuna. Immediately Arjuna is humbled. Oh wait, ye mere boss बैठे हैं यहाँ पे. Right? Immediately he is humbled. Next is Karna. Whenever Karna is shooting the arrows, the Arjuna and Krishna's chariot, it is flying away. Whenever Arjuna is shooting arrows at Karna, his chariot is only flying just a few feet away. Then suddenly Arjuna asks Krishna, "Ki ye kya ho raha hai? Whenever Karna is shooting arrows, our chariot is just going away. And whenever Karna is shooting arrows at me, our chariot is just flying away." Then Krishna turns around and tells to Arjuna, "You fool, you would be dead if I was not sitting here." Immediately humbled. Humility. He protects Arjuna's humility. Third example is Bhagadatta. Bhagadatta he was a very, very elderly Kuruvira, very old Kuruvira. इतने old थे कि उनके आंखें बंद हो जाते थे. To open his eyes like this, he used to tie something really hard, and he used to keep his eyes open and shoot arrows and wage the war. He's very, very old. This Bhagadatta had a very, very powerful weapon called Narayanastra. He shot that at Arjuna. There is no return for this. Now Arjuna would have been killed. Now Krishna, involuntarily, he gets up. He's sitting in the chariot as a charioteer, but he gets up. When he gets up, the Narayanastra hits Narayana and it becomes a garland around Krishna. And immediately he sits down. Arjuna notices this. Immediately humbled. Ye boss mere baithe hai yahan pe. He's taking care of me. Immediately humbled. Now, this humility we all know. Hum log jante hain isko. Compassion. The second principle is compassion. Now, who is blamed for Kurukshetra war? Who is blamed? Any answers? Who is blamed for Kurukshetra war?
Duryodhan.
Duryodhan. Okay. Who said that? Suman Prabhu?
Yes,
Suman Prabhu. Personally, आपको कुछ problem है क्या दुर्योधन से?
No, it's because he was unwilling to sacrifice even 5
Yes.
villages.
Yes.
So
Very, very good. Yes. Okay. Very nice answer. But usually, Krishna is blamed for Kurukshetra war because Supreme Personality of Godhead, you can't stop a quarrel between two brothers. Matlab, you're the best attorney general in New York and you cannot settle a divorce. It's like that. You're the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are unable to settle the quarrel between two brothers who are fighting for some real estate. Yahi reh gaya kya? So Krishna is blamed. And we'll study some of the time about that. But Arjuna in the opening chapters, he actually says, Nakangshe Vijayam Krishna Nacharajam Sukhani cha. He actually says, Nakangshe Vijayam, I don't want victory. Nacharajam Sukhani, I don't need any of these worldly pleasures. I don't need happiness. Then Krishna says, Chup raho, just become my instrument and just fight. This is what Krishna says to Arjuna. So, compassion, he left it for Arjuna. Who guided him? Krishna. So he takes all the blame and he leaves compassion for Arjuna. Compassion and humility. This is what he protected of the Pandavas. Physically, of course, he protected them so many times from so many miseries, right? So this is a very, very important instruction. So in the next verses, in the second and third verses, Rupa Goswami gives us two very, very obvious instructions. Matlab ye Rupa Goswami, he took it from Hitopadesha. So it's not original verses nahi hai. Rupa Goswami didn't write these original verses. He took it from Hitopadesha. Hitopadesha are like TED Talks during those times. So you take points from TED Talks, right? Like that. Rupa Goswami did that. Avoid bad things, adapt good things. So he gives these atyahara prayasascha prajalponiyamagraha, right? So overeating and over-endeavoring. Overeating, atyahara is not just overeating, it's also over-endeavoring. Prajalpa, and then greed, Duryodhan ka example, Suman Prabhu, greed, right? Duryodhana. Material association, Jana Sangha, material association. One example is Manthara, right? Manthara, Kaikeyi loved Ram more than her own son Bharat. Immediately Manthara comes, suddenly Parivartan aa jata hai unme, right? Transformation happens, but in a wrong way. So that is ill effects of bad association. Greed of Duryodhan, just like Suman Prabhu was saying, 5 villages they asked. He said, I will not even give the space of a pinhead. Forget about 5 villages. I will not even give the space of a pinhead. That's when the war happened, right? So this overeating, over endeavoring, you've seen the Pepsi ads, right, in India. Ye dil mange more. Ye dil always mange more. Huh? And then it comes to these tendencies, they come to even devotion, even spirituality. Jo bhi khichdi spirituality hai, even those have these over endeavoring. We have 33 crore demigods, right? Plus 11 cricket players. Sab altar pe baithe hain. This is also over endeavoring. And then Rupa Goswami makes it really simple. Avoid all these bad things. And then adapt some good things. What are those good things? Enthusiasm. Srila Prabhupada defines enthusiasm as endeavor executed with intelligence. ऐसे definitions आप मुझे बताइए कौन देता है? This is why we should say Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Endeavor executed with intelligence is enthusiasm. And that type of enthusiasm Hanumanji shows. We'll learn about him sometimes. If Prabhuji gives an opportunity, Gaur Kumar Prabhu will learn about Hanuman sometimes. So Hanumanji, when he flies off, he gives these lessons, Dhriti, Drishti, Matir, Dakshyam. Lots of lessons to learn from Hanuman. And after all that, we should have patience. Right? And then the Sangha, he already said that, avoid bad association. If you are saying that avoid bad association, it means that take good association, right? But he repeats, take good association. He repeats. That means there is emphasis there. Whenever there is repetition, that means there is emphasis there. Vaishnava association is really, really important. So one time this happened that one thief, this actually is a true story in California. A thief, he entered the Kirtan party that was going on in the street. Entered the Kirtan party. Sab log naach rahe the, ga rahe the, music chal raha tha loud. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Police aaye, they didn't find the thief. So the thief also thought to himself, "Are ye acha cover hai mere liye." So he just walked away with the devotees. He went into the temple, and then he started living with the devotees. He also shaved up, like other devotees is also shaved up, because he started looking like an alien, and this was a very good cover. Koi pehchan nahi raha tha. So he shaved up, and after he shaved up, then after 3-4 years, he asked, "Oh, what are you guys chanting?" 3-4 years ke baad pucha inhone ki, what are you guys chanting? And then somebody said, we are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. 3-4 years tak, this banda, he was doing only this. He was not chanting, he was just doing this. He never knew what people were doing. 3-4 years ke baad, he started chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. 6 years later, he went into police station. Bola, I've changed. Now I should, I should surrender myself to police. So he went to the police station and he said, I'm a thief and I should surrender myself. So the police asked, "Who are you? What are you?" He's shaved up and he's looking like a, alien. So the cop asked, "Who are you? Why have you come? What are you doing?" And then he said, "I live in Hare Krishna temple nearby. I was a thief you couldn't catch, so I'm surrendering myself." So the cop asked, "What is this Hare Krishna temple? What do you do there?" Then he started, we get up in the morning at 2 a.m. we chant our japa till 5 a.m. and then there is morning prayers, and after that we read Srimad Bhagavatam, and after that we do book distribution, and after that we have Srimad Bhagavatam class, and after that we read Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then the officer was like, "You don't have to come to prison. Stay there. वो दिमाग खराब वाला place है, उधर ही रहो तुम." This is what the officer told this thief. So the this thief who was made into a devotee, he just left and he continued in the temple. So this avoid bad and adapt good. I made this really, really simple, but please read the book. There is so much in-depth instructions that he gives. The ultimate instruction of Bhagavad Gita is what? Can anybody guess what is the ultimate instruction of Bhagavad Gita?
सर्वधर्मान परित्यज.
सही बात. परीक्षित प्रभु. Thank you प्रभु. परीक्षित, आप ही की वजह से हमें श्रीमद् भागवतम मिला प्रभु. So सर्वधर्मान परित्यज्य, right? सर्वधर्मान परित्यज्य माम एकम शरणम व्रज. How do you surrender? How do you surrender? वो उन्होंने नहीं बताया उसमें, right? In that verse he didn't say, don't worry, he said. Masucha, he said, don't worry, but he didn't tell in that verse how we should surrender. So that Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains, and also Rupa Goswami explains that 6 limbs of surrender, right? Dainyatmani vedana goptrutve varana avashya rakshide Krishna vishwasa palana bhakti anukula matra karyera svikara bhakti pratikula bhava varjanangikara Shadanga Sharanagati. This is Shadanga Sharanagati. The last 2, Bhakti Anukula Matra Karyera Svikara, Bhakti Pratikula Bhava Varjanangikara. Baki sab bhul jao, ye dono karo, your train chalta rahega aapka gaadi. That's what many Vaishnavacharyas told us, Dainya Atma Nivedana. You don't have to worry about all those things. Just do whatever is favorable for bhakti and avoid what is unfavorable for bhakti. These are the points that Rupa Goswami gives very, very easily. Avoid bad things, adapt good things. Bhakti anukula matra karyera svikara, bhakti pratikula bhav, varjanangikara. After doing all these things, this material world hame jhatke deta hi rahega. So if it is anukul or pratikul, we should be very cool. That's the instruction, right? So after this, he talks about devotees and relationships. Still the first 6 verses, right? He talks about devotees and relationships. Genuine Vaishnava relationships. Caring and loving Vaishnava relationships. So whenever we have to cancel our Bhakti Vriksha, 10 messages आ जाते हैं कि sad faces, sad smileys, WhatsApp पे लगे हैं सब लोग. 10 messages, Prabhu, why are you canceling Bhakti Vriksha? Please, we want to meet. आपको क्या problem है? आपके घर पे हो रहा है, लेकिन आपको क्या problem है? We get all kinds of messages. So, genuine Vaishnava relationships. When Damodar Priya, my wife, she was pregnant with the second baby, her parents could not come immediately because of the visa issues. All the devotees here, they were taking care of her. And so right before the delivery, her father came. And उनका दिमाग खराब हो गया था देख के कि ये कौन लोग हैं? Who are these people who are serving you like this? They are spending more time with you. They are serving you more than us. We used to get breakfast, lunch, dinner. Boxes aate the. So her father was confused, like, who are these people who serve like this? So I don't know if you know Gaur Kumar Prabhu and Nitya Mataji. All the devotees, every Prabhu, every saffron monk, they fly into JFK because ticket kam padta hai. $400-500 kam padta hai ticket, right? Every devotee flies into New York, JFK, and every devotee ko yahi host karte hain, Gaur Kumar Prabhu and Nitya Mataji. So I've actually asked sometime Gaur Kumar Prabhu ki, how do you manage the time like this? So they do lots of these are caring and loving, genuine Vaishnava relationships. Giving and receiving. This is one of the important things Srila Rupa Goswami explains. Dadati pratigrahnati guhyam akhyati pruchati. Giving and receiving gifts. Giving and receiving hearts. Right? Guhyam akhyati pruchati. गिविंग एंड रिसीविंग प्रसादम, वो तो जरूर होना चाहिए. मतलब बातें तो चलते रहते हैं लेकिन प्रसाद मिलना चाहिए अंत में. So and then is respect each other. Respect each other. Avoid familiarity. I couldn't prepare for this lecture much because I had a call with somebody who is almost going through a divorce. 1.5 hour उन्हीं से call चल रहा था. So I can't reveal all the details, but it got to a point where they cannot get along with each other. They have 2 kids. They cannot get along with each other. So before, and the problem is that when you are living under the same roof, ye aa jata hai, ye familiarity. Respecting each other is really, really important. In the garb of love, sometimes hum respect bhul jate hain. We put love first, and that love, because it's material world, love is not love, it is lust. So we are exploiting each other, and then we lose respect also. So avoid familiarity, because familiarity breeds contempt. Sanat Kumara in 4th canto to Prithu Maharaj, he gives these 3 instructions, 3G. Bhagavatam mein already 3G hai technology, dekho aap. Already 3G. Good behavior, guru, and gratitude. Good behavior, guru, and gratitude. Yeah, these are very, very important principles. And then do not judge. When individuals are facing difficult times, हमारे पूरे डाउनलोड किया गया नॉलेज उनको उसी टाइम पे देके उनको फटाफट भगवान के पास भेजने की जरूरत नहीं है. And sometimes we are very, very aggressive in giving knowledge to people that we sometimes become really impersonal. When somebody is going through suffering, you can't give a class on karma to them. Aapka karma hai, bhukto. You cannot give class on karma to them, that it is your karma, you suffer. It is just so impersonal, right? Right? So when thinking is difficult, we become judgmental. When thinking is difficult, we become judgmental, right? No matter how educated, talented, rich, or cool we are, the way we treat people will tell everything about us. So these are gems of instructions that Rupa Goswami is giving us. I've already spoken for 1 hour. So Prabhu, so that's where we are. So we completed part 1. Maybe we'll continue next week, Prabhu, or some other time, whenever you have time.
Okay,
No,
Prabhu.
we have only completed first part. This is just...
Okay. Is everybody okay with another 15 minutes of lecture?
I am okay, Prabhu. Happy to go forward.
Come on, Prabhu. What about the devotees in California? Aditya Prabhu.
Yeah,
To
Prabhu,
Aditya
of course. Yeah, works for me. Yeah.
Thank you, Aditya Prabhu.
Yes.
And then devotees in India. Jitendra Prabhu, you're okay?
Srivas Prabhu is saying maybe one more session.
Or maybe one more session.
Yes,
Okay.
Prabhu, I'm okay. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Jitendra Prabhu. So maybe, what do you suggest, Ramana Krishna Prabhu?
I am your servant, Prabhu.
Oh. Okay, so I think we'll end here. So next week, Yashoda Dulal Prabhu is scheduled to speak. So after that, the next session is January 6th. Are you available, Prabhuji?
I should be. Yeah.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you. I mean, this was Nectar. If anybody has any questions, are you okay to take some questions, Prabhu? Okay. So if anybody has any questions, now is a good time to ask Prabhuji.
I have.
If anybody wants to leave, you're welcome to leave. But if anybody has any questions, Prabhuji will be here. You can answer. Can ask questions.
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu,
Vinay
that,
Prabhu.
thank you, Prabhu, for the wonderful class. Thank you so much. So that in that one slide there, that familiarity breeds contempt. So can you shed some light on that, Prabhu? Like, means without familiarity also we cannot develop devotee relationships, or like we cannot be fulfilled. And at the same time, it it certainly it like that ati parichayata vagya happens. So how to balance that?
However, however close we are to anybody, we need to draw the line, Prabhuji. We need to draw the line. That's being very, very practical. However close we are to anybody. We work with a lot of Gujarati devotees here. वो बोलते हैं business business होता है, भाई भाई होता है. Our family business is Krishna consciousness. भाई भाई होता है, business business होता है. We need to draw the line, Prabhuji. One powerful acharya actually said this: if you know the devotee who is next to you in and out, you will be stunned. This is what this acharya said. उसका मतलब यह है कि just because the devotee next to you has two hands, has two eyes, it doesn't mean that he's on the same platform as me. That's actually coming in in these verses also. It's Krishneti yasya girita manasadriyeta. Many devotees, even in our movement, many devotees have offended African American devotees. In these BLM days, it is very important to make that comment, because just by looking at the color of the skin, somehow they felt that isko kuch pata nahi hai, ya ye do number ka aadmi hai. Say many devotees have judged. So it is very important. It is very, very important to draw the line. Always when you chant your japa, always pray to Nama Prabhu to clear your offenses, because intentionally or unintentionally, कुछ लोग आके बताते नहीं हैं आपको. If devotees are hurt, they will not come and tell you that they're hurt. Unless they're really, really hurt, then they will speak in a lecture or something anonymously. But people don't come directly. So we need to pray. And because you have prayed, it's not a license for us to offend, right? Or we should be very, very careful. So draw the line. Gaurakumar Prabhu, you want to add? Nitya Mataji, you want to add, please?
I just want to mention one point, Prabhu. I mean, no matter what the relationship, as long as you have respect and communication, proper communication is also a key. Just like how Prabhuji was saying, you must draw the line. You must draw the line by proper communication. Otherwise, it becomes cold. Communication is also equally important. Communicating what you're feeling, your emotions, your thoughts, everything, I think really helps in any relationship. I just want to add that. Prabhuji's answer was perfect. Thank you.
Very, very nice. Actually, Gaurakumar Prabhu's addition was perfect. That actually completes the answer. And those devotees who are ahead in the years, not necessarily they don't become senior devotees 2 inches above the ground, 400 Vishnu, ये सब नहीं होता. But devotees who are a few years ahead should this is really, really important actually. Thank you, Prabhu, for that. The devotees who are ahead should really, really cultivate that environment where there are open hearts. There are so many devotees, even in our congregation, I see sometimes there are so many devotees who are hurt, who don't want to participate in every day 4-hour Zoom programs. I mean, Zoom is absolute truth and family is Maya. Hey, ye kya pagalpani hai? So there are so many devotees who are hurt, who are very, very practical, who want to live a genuine life. But, you know, are back to God it jana hai ki nahi? I'm like, oh, Hari Bol. Hari Bol se horrible ban jata hai life. So those devotees who are ahead, few years ahead, should cultivate these environments where people can approach you openly. You know, if you don't take feedback, you will be left with mutes. If you'll be left with bhajan batch around you. तो भजन करते रहे, हरि बोल प्रभु, अरे भाई आप तो इतना, यही होगा. So that's a very, very nice point, Prabhu. Thank you.
Any other questions? Anybody?
So just a clarification.
Yeah.
This was from the 6th verse, right? Okay.
6th, we ended at 6th verse. Yes, Prabhu.
No, this familiarity breeds contempt. It's the 6th verse. Where it's told not to judge a devotee by his body, birth, etc., etc. It's that verse referring
It's this, right? Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I have one question.
Yes,
thank you, Prabhu, for a wonderful lecture. So we have seen about over endeavor. You spoke about in second verse, right? So my question is, like, endeavor is required, right? And then we talk about over endeavor, and I feel this over is very relative, right? It can be like it, you know what I'm saying, right? It's very relative thing. So is there any way to find a threshold, like to judge myself, like for two person? Is there any way we can?
Just like your question, the answer is also very, very subjective, Prabhuji. जो दवाइयां मैं दूसरों को देता हूँ वो आपको दे दूंगा तो आप मतलब you will go back to garden soon. Right? So the answer is, the question is subject, like you said, very, very important question. You know, what is that verse in Bhagavad Gita? Balance. What is that verse?
Yuktahara vihara.
Yes. Very nice. Thank you, Shivas Prabhu. Thank you. Yuktahara viharasya yukta karmasya chetasu yukta swapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. Beautiful verse, you know, and I use this verse to give a talk on balance in ISKCON of Bergen. And after I gave the talk, devotees approached me saying कि प्रभु ये किसके लिए था ये class? ये तो हमारे लिए नहीं था. Devotees came. Then some newcomers to the Bergen, they came. They were somewhat materialists. They're new. They're very, very new. They came and they asked, so Prabhu, this class was for devotees, right? This class was not for us. So devotees thought the class was not for them. Materialists thought that the class was not for them. तो class किसके लिए था? मेरे लिए था class. I was taking the class, you know, I was taking the class. So anyway, so balance, right? Some practical, yeah, actually that's another topic. But some practical advice about balance is that His Holiness Rompad Maharaj, he was giving a class in one of the Bhakti Vrikshas here, and somebody asked similar question about balance, and Rompad Maharaj gave big arrow-like answer came, and he simply said, balance means time management. That's what he said. Balance means time management. So 2 to 2.5 hours of japa, right? And 1 hour of reading, right? 3.5 hours. So about 4 hours, let's say, give or take 4 hours. 4 hours you put in your sadhana. And the rest, karo aap endeavor. So that way you prioritize. Maharaj, Rompad Maharaj again, sometimes during medical entrance exams vagera, when you know these guys have no time, honestly, they even when they're eating, they're studying. Waise time pe Maharaj said it's okay, you know, if you're a student, do that responsibility first. It's okay, but stay in the association of devotees. Take prasadam, wo sab karte raho, but do that. And so there is a flip side to this. There was one Prabhu in JJ Medical College, Bombay. You know, right? JJ Medical, Bombay. They renamed it to Jai Jagannath Medical College. Krishna is it. So JJ Medical College, there was one student. He got Namaruchi, taste for chanting. Itna taste for chanting ho gaya ki he used to chant 16 rounds and suddenly he got one night in उनका शिखा खड़े हो गया, क्या हो गया पता नहीं, एंटेना खड़े हो गया, मतलब he started chanting 64 rounds. 64 rounds he started chanting, and so his counselors, they all said, भाई इतना एक टांग पे खड़े होके इतना severe austerities करने की जरूरत नहीं है, please be with the devotees, please have prasadam, enjoy the association वगैरह वगैरह. But this guy, he just wanted to do 64 rounds. He wanted to do 64 rounds, so what happened, he could not meet the devotees. He couldn't meet the devotees because there was no time for that. He was 64 rounds baja rahe hai. There was no time to meet the devotees. There was no time to have prasadam with the devotees. There was no time to come to the temple. And आखिर में इतना भी हो गया कि there was no time for him to read his own medical course वगैरह वगैरह. And अंत में उनको psychologist के पास लेना पड़ा. मतलब he had to be taken to a counselor, not हमारे गीता counselor, proper professional counselor के पास ले जाना पड़ा उनको, because he went into delirium. So I gave you two extreme examples, and then somehow you need to find your sweet balance. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Sorry that I gave a complicated answer and I didn't answer. But it's case by case. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank
Hare
you
Krishna,
for very, very wonderful class. Just to for Parikshit Prabhu's question, I deal with also the over endeavoring because I'm a person where I need to, like, I'm a go-getter kind of a person. Like, I need to get these things done. So what helps me is when to know that that I'm over endeavoring is when my sadhana gets affected because of that. For example, if I sit and chant and then majority of my thoughts are running in one direction, then I know that I'm just right after that, and I just need to pull back my strings a little bit. And also when I actually asked this question when Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, we had the opportunity of meeting him at our home last year. How do I know that I'm over endeavoring? And he told me that you do your best. I know that best is also subjective, but you do the best up till your satisfactory limit. Like, okay, I've done it. And then the remaining is when, you say, okay, whatever happens is Krishna's will. And so then actually that advice was like a really great for me, because, I have a special needs, we have a special needs kid, and any amount of endeavoring is not enough. It's like it becomes an over endeavor. So how, all my thoughts are around how to provide the best, and the best for me is like giving the whole world to her. And how do I know to pull back the strings? How do I know to keep it balanced? Is when I know that, okay, this is my limit. This is it. I've done it. There's nothing more to be done. And there will be several indications that maybe Krishna gives, or maybe the the whole the universe gives back, or something like, there will be obstacles. And that's when the Krishna says, okay, that is it. That's where you have to stop. Maybe you should just give it up to Krishna's will, and whatever happens, I will not regret, because I've given my best. I don't know if that helps.
Thank you. That's very practical. Thank you.
We have 6 more minutes. If anybody wants to ask any final questions.
I So like forgiveness is a very much important in our like sampradaya, and we see like great examples like Saridas Thakur, when even beaten they were very forgiving. But personally, like when we are hurt, it's very difficult to forgive. Like we may not do anything, but internally that hurt is there, and or when we are vulnerable, and that makes us very fearful. Like we will never be very vulnerable to anybody, so that we may be hurt again, and then the full cycle because we are not forgiven. So if you have some like suggestions about forgiving others.
But I couldn't hear properly, but forgiveness, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, again, I wanted to quote him for this forgiveness. I think I'm going to answer on the other side that you can't keep forgiving if somebody is exploiting you repeatedly. That's the extreme example that I want to give first. You can't keep forgiving if that other person is repeatedly exploiting you. You can't keep forgetting if that other person keeps exploiting you. In those circumstances, forgive and forget doesn't work. In those circumstances, forgive and forget doesn't work. In those circumstances, thinking that everything is your fault doesn't work. So that's a very, very deep lesson that Chaitanya Charan Prabhu taught me. There were three, he gives a three-step solution to that. Does anybody, I can't exactly remember that, but the last step is what I just told you. First step is to forgive and forget, because you need to give everybody a chance, because you are given chances, right? You are given chances so many times. And also this one principle that I really, really loved one time is one atheist went to take prasadam in the house of a theist, in the house of a devotee. And so when the atheist was eating, he was repeatedly criticizing God. He was repeatedly criticizing. Theist devotee, he was listening, he was being very, very patient, very, very patient, very, very patient. And at some point, he lost it. And he threw him out of the house. And then he went to sleep that night. And then Krishna came in his dream. And he asked, I'm tolerating billions of atheists. You couldn't tolerate one? That's what he asked. So in the beginning, you can use all those that you hear very, very often, is that think that it is your fault, think that, give a second chance, give benefit of doubt. Yes, you can do it. But this is the balance that I want to give you in the answer, is that, but if you are being recurrently exploited, you can't just repeatedly keep forgiving and make a fool of yourself. That's not the way it should work. So that's where the open channel of communication comes, where Gaur Kumar Prabhu was saying, you give feedback and you clearly let that person know this is the line. That's the balance that I see.
I wanted to say something here, Prabhu.
Please.
Thank you for that answer. And because most of the time what happens is you struggle forgiving someone, and then you start feeling guilty and seeing that, oh, I'm a really bad person, I'm not able to forgive this and forget this. But yeah, it's very important to understand that it's happened multiple times, or I've done my effort and communicate. But again, what happens here is it's a very, very difficult situation. It's like either side you go, you're going to fall in a ditch. It's a very difficult situation because you're talking to a devotee, and he or she is close to your heart. You want to communicate, but you don't want to hurt the person, but you are hurt. It's a very difficult situation, and it's very likely that you're going to end up hurting the other person or get into some kind of conflict. So I guess it's a question also, but a comment as well, because most of the times you're not going to get an opportunity to kind of resolve everything or express completely. I guess maybe who understands you really very well, maybe one or two or three or four close with whom you're really close. Or else if you try to explain or express, it may end up in a situation that you may regret. So I guess it's a question also, and a comment is that you might want to just keep your distance, respectful distance, and compartmentalize. And now this is reaching to a limit that it's going to hurt you. Then immediately you try to keep yourself away, keep that distance.
Right. Very, very nice points, Jit Prabhu. Thank you. I actually call him Advani Ji. So Advani Ji means Jit. Two points that I want to add, that really nice points that Jit Prabhu added. 2 points that I really quickly wanted to add is that one is be surrounded by good counseling devotees. Rama was always surrounded by Vasishtha and Vishwamitra. Be always surrounded by good counseling devotees. Then they will guide you in the right direction. Second one, very, very quickly. There was a wife and husband. Both worked really, really hard, came home. They were about to have dinner. The wife worked really, really hard, made some soup, and she put it on the table. Both are at the brink of frustration. The volcanoes are ready to erupt, right? Both are tired. Both have come after a busy day of work, and both are taking care of children, and both are at that table. Husband takes the first spoon, and he senses that there is no salt in the soup. There is no salt in the soup. So there are 3 ways: sattva, rajas, tamoguna. If you are ignorant, this person is going to just throw the soup or throw it on her or break the bowl and leave from there. Frustrated, Now you might be thinking, hum sab log thande baithe hain yahan pe. You will be thinking, who crazy person will do this? There are a lot of people who have done that. So that is tamoguna. Rajoguna. अरे ये भी बनाना नहीं आता तुझे, ये तो मैं भी बना सकता हूँ, इतना भी बना सकती, भैम 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 भैम. Rajoguna. Goodness. So one husband, he took the spoon and he said, I want to feed the first sip to you. He fed her. Immediately she realized, I forgot to put salt. Oh, sorry, I forgot to put salt. Matajis immediately, they have that humility and service attitude naturally within them. Patience, dharani, right? So immediately that Mataji, she apologized. There was no reason for her to apologize. She has worked equally hard. She apologized and she got the salt, and then they happy. Sattva, rajas, tamogunas. The problem is you can't control these modes. You are controlled by them. Right? But one thing you can is acquired modes. Srila Prabhupada says this. Acquired modes of materialism. What do you acquire? So there is some free will. There is some free will within us. Which act should I do? So I just wanted to give that quick example. Jeet Prabhu kuch bol rahe the, to somehow it rang the bell for me. Sorry. Nitya Mataji was saying something. I interrupted her. Sorry.
No, I actually this is very good example. I was just thinking that one in mode of pure goodness would actually appreciate even the saltless soup. I was just thinking. No. So, so my question was kind of related to what the relation with forgiveness and if we cannot live associate with a person who cannot forgive, it goes to the point where avoid bad, right? Avoid things that are unfavorable. So my question is, I don't want to take too much time, but there are people in our life who may not be devotees or may not be favorable to in any even with devotees may not be favorable for associating, but we cannot avoid them. Is tolerating is also a kind of a variation of avoidance, or how? Because it's not possible to avoid them. Like for example, they could be our relatives, they could be our friends who are well wishers, but they may not be Krishna conscious. How are we supposed to do those avoidance?
Short answer is respect from distance, Mansi. Respect from distance. Usually, if we respect anybody, तीसरी बार सीख लेते हैं वो कि अरे these guys, every time they're trying to do something, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Then fourth time if they're doing it, then हमें भी पता चल जाता है कि we need to safely distance from these people. So, yes, ma'am. Short answer. Yeah.
Can I add something here, Prabhu?
Please, Hare.
Yeah, I used to struggle with that, and then what I tried recently was I genuinely glorified that person in front of everybody. Like genuinely, I not with any other intention, that I wanted to free myself from any kind of frustration arising out of that complex situation or relationship. So what I did was I took a genuine effort and appreciated and glorified that person in front of everybody. By that way, it kind of helped me forgiving, forgetting, and distancing, keeping that distance respectfully. But the other person also kind of understood that, that he or she is receiving respect and love and appreciation. So automatically the other person kind of changes the behavior or approach. But again, after that, I just started keeping respectful distance, because I know glorifying every single time will not be possible. So tolerance, keeping respectful distance is the best thing.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, so let's thank wholeheartedly Raman Krishna Prabhu so much for being here and enlightening us. So much laughter, so much wisdom, everything at once. We got to eat everything, the whole meal at once. So thank you so much. Very, very grateful for your time, Prabhu. So I just have a couple of announcements. So Chaitanya Charan Prabhu will be giving an 18-day class every day, 20 minutes, starting Gita Jayanti on the 18 days of Kurukshetra war. So I will be sharing the YouTube link on the WhatsApp group. So please try to attend. It's just 20 minutes every day, and some very, very wonderful lessons on each day of the Kurukshetra war. So that's starting Friday. The second announcement is starting in January, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu will be doing a Bhagavatam Applied. For those of you who have been following the Gita Key Verses course, we've finished 52 weeks. We will be finishing 52 weeks this coming week. So after that, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu will be doing Bhagavatam Applied. The first pastime he'll be doing is Daksha, and he'll be giving 6 weeks class on the Daksha pastime, 4th canto, chapter 2 to chapter 7, I think. So he'll cover these 5 chapters in depth with a lot of practical lessons. After that, he'll be taking other pastimes like Bali Maharaj and so on. So I'm really looking forward to this. Again, I'll share the details on the WhatsApp group. And next week, we'll have His Grace Yashoda Dulal Prabhu with us, 9 to 10. And before that, also, Yadunath Prabhu will be doing a small comedy skit. And Gaur Sharan Prabhu will also be speaking a little bit, just in preparation of the new year. So we are really fortunate to have these wonderful souls coming and speaking to us. So if you can attend, please attend. I'll send the time, everything on the WhatsApp. So otherwise, so that's it. I'll end here. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. And I just want to call out two people here, to Aditya Prabhus from California. Thank you so much, Prabhus, for joining us. I know this is your first time here. Thank you so much. I hope you got something. I mean, it's a wonderful class, but thank you again for taking
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhu, for this session. Especially thank you to the speaker, Ramana Prabhu. It was, I mean, I wasn't expecting so much of Nectar, but yeah, it turned out to be way better than I had expected. And also, I would like to thank Swapna Prabhu, Shivaschandra Prabhu for inviting me. So yeah, it turned out to be a really good class and so many good things to learn. Thanks so much.
Thank you both. You're welcome to join anytime. So I'll keep letting Srivachandra Prabhu know, and then he can forward the invites. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then some NYU students who joined for the first time today are also here. Rajat Prabhu and Niranjan Prabhu, if you're still here, thank you again for joining. Okay, so thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.